Hey yo, what's poppin', man? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great. We're back. So there's gonna be a blitz, right? We're just gonna go through, record a bunch of videos. Don't worry, great quality. I got a drink here. Not alcohol. That's haram. I don't drink alcohol. So anyway, we in the previous video we covered this one for sure. I think this one is a completely different rule set, so we're not even gonna go into this. I'm not covering this in this YouTube series thing. But over here, I think we covered this in the previous video. I'm not sure, so we're gonna redo it. So we're gonna revise this. And then I'm going to talk about these two entries, this stack and this stack. Super easy to understand. This was just a beautiful, beautiful storyline to play from. And so yeah, let's get right into it. So first one, let's get into this guy right here. Okay, how do I get this? So first of all, you need to understand, right? First of all, let me see, I'm recording 50 seconds in. Beautiful. So we're talking about this area here, by the way. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to this, right? There is no weekly for us to, say or claim that, oh, guys, look, weekly reject weekly and then price. No, we have nothing like that. Okay, now one thing, let's set the standards. First of all, we need to know top down what's going on. So I'm going to hit to the monthly and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. All right, so over here we can see, okay, I think I covered this in the previous video. We had ourselves that monthly reject monthly. You can see it did actually tap. Let's go and check out what happened. So monthly reject monthly. Let's go to the weekly, see what happens. Okay, so this actually happened later. So this, what I'm talking about right now, if you guys are confused, right, what I'm talking about right now is actually here. So we'll get to that. Give me a second. I've just sat down with my cup of whatever and I'm doing this, so bear with me. Okay, let's see what's the storyline right now. Okay, the storyline before that was monthly bearish anyway, because we had that monthly reject monthly of this open close, and then we had the weekly breakout. Boom. So thus we have ourselves a monthly bearish storyline. We should be playing from weeklies, right? But as you know, if we have the monthly in bearish, if we have the weekly also in bearish, and the daily also in bearish, we can simply try and look for plays off of the daily as well. Even though we're in a monthly storyline, strictly speaking, the best areas to sell from would be weekly because monthly bearish, but we can also have ourselves a couple entries from daily if we wish. Of course, the best will be always one time frame below, right? Okay, cool. So how do we get this entry? Very simple. There's no weekly over here. So what made me buy, even though we are in monthly bearish, we are in weekly bearish? What made me buy over here? Very, very simple. Monthly bearish, I already know my obstacle is going to be on the weekly, correct? So monthly bearish, I already know my obstacle is going to minimum be weekly, not daily. Monthly bearish storyline, obstacle going to be weekly obstacle going to be weekly support, and also entry going to be from weekly resistance. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time because I messed up there. Monthly bearish storyline, correct? We are going to have weekly obstacles, but also entries from weekly resistance. Why resistance? Because we're monthly bearish. Why weekly obstacles for why is weekly on the time frame weekly for obstacles? Because we're monthly bearish. Very simple understanding. So I know if I were to look for a buy over here, where's the first area that I should be worried about? This. Yeah, I know it didn't actually react, but this is going to be the first area. Okay, because we're monthly bearish, we should be looking for sells in here, we should be looking for sells in here, right? As you can see, we did react. These are not things where it's like, oh guys, if we're monthly bearish, any weekly price just gonna tank from the first weekly it touches. Never. That's never the case. It needs to do the full standard operating procedure, which we'll cover in a different video maybe. All right, over here. So why did I look for a buy? Very simple. I went to the daily time frame. Okay, and I know that price created that weekly area for me to sell, right? So I know if I'm going to look for a sell anyway, I'm going to look for a sell over here. That's probably the best place for me to look for a sell, correct? So what I did was incredibly simple. I just saw that we had ourselves a daily bullish breakout. Okay, we had ourselves a daily bullish breakout, and I just went for a buy based on the daily bullish breakout. Yeah, I definitely covered this in the previous video. Okay, I definitely covered this in the previous video. So I went for this daily buy because I know the first area for me to be worried about, because I'm a swing trader. Personally, I'm a swing trader, right? Is this area. I'm going to be worried about this area for my buy. All right, and for my sell, I'll be like, okay, this is the area I want price to hit to. Okay, now when I look at this area, there's no daily in this. This is not a refinement. This daily is not a refinement of the weekly. A refinement of a weekly resistance must be at the resistance or above. That's how you get MTFs and things like that. It's nowhere there. So anyway, price broke up. And I simply saw we had ourselves this daily, and I took the chance to buy this. I also believe because of a trend line. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a high risk trade. If you're wondering, okay, Avi, you're explaining a bunch of stuff. Is this high risk or low risk? This is a high risk trade, absolutely, and I'll tell you why it's a high risk trade. Because number one, we never had things like a daily reject daily. right? If price came in here, daily rejected daily, next day there was a H4, boom, we could take something like that. Actually, just for the fun of it, let's go and see what was on the H4. Yeah, there was nothing for us to stack upon in the coming days. That's okay. But anyway, coming back to the daily and coming back to my point, this is a high risk trade, number one, because we never had that operating procedure, right? The standard operating procedure, that daily reject daily, H4 new or H4 breakout, right? We never had anything like that. Furthermore, we're in monthly bearish, weekly bearish. So if you're taking a buy on this daily, if let's say your usual percentage of your risk is like, let's assume 0.50% or half, which is 0.5%, or 1%, you would probably quarter that risk because you know this is not a very quality trade. But hey, look, it lasted. Sometimes the trades where you look at they're not the best and highest quality, they're the ones that last. It just happens to be like that, bro. So does that mean that you're just going to keep on taking low quality trades? No, you have to stick to your plan, okay? Because come your losing streak and you're saying, oh, you know, during my winning streak, I was taking trades left and right, high risk, low risk, who cares? But boom, right? There's suddenly a shift in your psychology. Something happened at home. You're not viewing the charts the same. Something happens, whatever, financial, like fundamentally, whatever the case may be. You're like, oh crap, why is my losing streak even worse than my previous losing streaks? It's because you got too comfortable taking high risk trades when you forgot the fact that they're high risk for a reason. Okay, move on. Let's move on. So we took this trade. We already broke down how there was another sell over here. We got over 50 pips for that. Scalper's paradise, this strategy is, right? Scalper's paradise. But anyway, I'm not a scalper, so that's that. Okay, we talked about this. Now let's get into this guy right here. Boom, beautiful trades. Now this is the one where you really want to pay attention to what I'm saying, because this is the one that's flowing with the storyline, and you can see how she really lasts a long time. Okay, so let's go to the monthly again, top down, so we can understand. First of all, you need to understand what we're in a monthly bearish storyline. You need to understand something else. There was never a point in time after this monthly turned bearish. There was never a point in time when price turned bullish. Never once. On a monthly storyline, I'm saying. There was never once a time after this monthly storyline turned bearish where the monthly storyline became bullish after that. Never once was there a case, right? You can say, oh, Avi, it rejected monthly, but this has already been tapped into, right? And just from the reaction, you can already assume that a monthly bullish storyline started from this support. So if a storyline starts from a support, how can that storyline be fresh anymore? Or excuse me, how can that support be fresh anymore? I'll say it again. When you're dealing with your higher time frames, daily, weekly, monthly, if you have, let's say this is a monthly, right? If you have price already tap and start a storyline from this monthly support, how can you say that this monthly support is fresh? It's not. Okay, so we know monthly bearish, simple. Now, what did I say about storyline and best areas to enter? If you have a monthly bearish storyline, the best areas for you to enter would be weekly or weekly MTF monthly. Or if there's no weekly MTF monthly, just a monthly or just a weekly. You're not going to look for the best swing points to be made, the longest lasting swing points to be made, 2 time frames below the time frame of the storyline. So in this case, I'm not going to be looking for dailies on the way up. I'm not going to be looking for daily resistances on the way up for me to say, oh, price is going to tap and reject and create a swing point on the, for the monthly storyline from this daily. No, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to be looking at weeklies. I'm going to be looking at monthlies. Or even better, I'm going to be looking at weeklies MTF'd with a monthly. So in this case, what do we have? We have ourselves an IPA, or excuse me, SMC is coming into my head. It's not an IPA. An IPA is this. Okay, this is SMC. Don't get confused. I'm just saying for you guys who studied my strong highs, lows, you know what this is. But we don't deal with wicks. We deal with bodies and body closures in SNR. So we have ourselves an open close, okay, together with a engulfing fail. In this case, it's an engulfing fail, right? We covered this in a previous video. All right, cool. So now we go to the weekly time frame and we can see, okay, we have ourselves this on the weekly. You can see price did reject. So if you want, you can go and study this guy, see how that went out. You can see how even though we had that weekly reject weekly, right, and daily new resistance, boom, you got completely stopped out. Shit happens, bro. Because remember, if price wanted to look, here's a bit of psychology for you. Here's a bit of confluence for you. If price wanted to react and create a swing point off of this resistance, right? This is a support, break, become resistance, correct? If price wanted to create a swing point from here, we need to have what? Weekly reject weekly and daily bearish breakout. The full SOP needs to happen from here. Then we can say, oh, this weekly sell is likely to hold in the direction of the monthly bearish storyline. but that didn't happen. So if you want, absolutely, I think I took sells from here and I got absolutely destroyed. No problem. These are called what? Medium risk sells. And yeah, sure, fair enough. They got completely stopped out. It is what it is. Okay, now moving on. In this area, this line right here, by the way, is the monthly. I'm not going to keep switching time frames. This line right here is the monthly. There was nothing on the weekly, and I'm going to show you that one more time. Sorry for switching time frames. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm going to do it anyway. So this over here, there's no weekly. There's this open close over here. I don't even think got tapped into. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, see, I wasn't wrong. So we didn't tap into this open close flip, right? We didn't tap into this guy, obviously, and of course we didn't tap into this guy. Okay, it is what it is. So here we have monthly, and the weeklies didn't get tapped. But remember, I always look at MTF if there is an MTF that God has bestowed upon me. And in this case, or the charts have bestowed upon me. So in this case, we have ourselves a monthly, no weekly, but let's see in this monthly, is there anything? So back during this time, right, what I would have done. Remember, I always talk a lot because I want you guys to understand what I did at that moment. There's no point of hindsight. What can I remember that I did off the moment? I'm going to make a video and show you guys exactly what I did or what I thought at that moment. So I saw this monthly and I went and marked up this weekly. I went and marked up this weekly. I went and marked up this weekly. I ignored this one because it's been tested. I marked up these ones at the top, right? These are all weeklies inside of the monthly. So simple to understand, right? And then I went to the daily because I was like, is there a daily right together with the monthly? And yes, there was. This is absolutely a fresh daily. Sell, buy is what? Support. Support gets boom, broken by this guy. So we draw her up right there. All right. And also now I want you guys to start drawing zones like me too. I want you guys to start drawing zones like me. So I want you to understand. So why do I draw my zone like this? Because this is the start of the daily, right? This is the first daily resistance, correct? And this top, that's the bottom of the rectangle. And the top of the rectangle is simply a fresh daily open close. And yes, it did get tapped. If you look, if you observe closely, it did tap that one. No problem, no problem. Okay. So what I would have probably done at that time, right, is seeing that we had ourselves a buy sell resistance, buy sell resistance. I would have drawn myself a little trend line, right? Never got tapped, by the way, but I just keep that in my head, right? Okay, keep that in your head. Maybe price, if price comes up here, right? See how there's an open close there? Oh, okay. Keep that in your head, right? So back then, yeah, keep that in your head. And also during this time, what I will do, I will see, okay, this is a monthly resistance. We are in monthly bearish storyline. There is a daily MTF there. First thing I'm going to do is what? Why? Your first question is always, why are we even looking to enter sell here? If price comes in this zone, so look, if price enters this zone, why would I look for a sell? Once you answer this question, and I'll give you the answer in just a second, you will understand my mind more. Okay, so now let me give you the answer. I've hyped it up enough. Let me give you the answer. Why would I look for a touch trade sell in here? Simply because if we have a daily reject daily here, let's say I enter, right? Touch trade, I enter, and then it closes as a daily reject daily and H4 bearish breakout. What does that mean? That means, excuse me, daily bearish storyline together with monthly bearish storyline. 2 time frames are together with me now. That's it. That's it. And you also have to understand something else. We have always been in a weekly bearish storyline. Now you guys are gonna be confused. Avi, how could we have been in a weekly bullish storyline? We bought from here. Hold on. Let's go and check the weekly. This buy, see this buy right here. Was there ever a weekly bullish storyline? Was there ever a weekly bullish storyline created? What I mean by a weekly bullish storyline is very simple, right? Previously, we know we had ourselves weekly reject weekly here, daily definitely bearish breakout. Also over here, monthly reject monthly, weekly bearish breakout. Then we also checked, oh, weekly reject weekly, daily bearish breakout. So now what? Why this big move? Monthly, weekly, daily, all together. Here was the only time where price turned from weekly bearish to bullish and then back into bearish again. Obviously, if you couldn't see from the top here, which I definitely didn't see anything in the top here. Here we had ourselves weekly reject weekly. Obviously daily would have broken out. You can look at the movement and tell, and then you know weekly turned back from bearish storyline, bullish storyline. She breaks, she rejects, bullish storyline to bearish storyline. So monthly is bearish, we already know that. Weekly was always bearish, and this buy never came from anything, my friends. Nothing it came from. So why you sad, right? There's no weekly from bearish to bullish. So weekly has always been bearish. So now monthly over here has always been bearish, okay? Weekly has always been bearish. Now daily here taps, and if we enter the touch trade and it closes as daily reject daily and H4 bearish breakout, that's it. 3 time frames together, we can expect big moves to happen soon, right? Sure, maybe not the next hour, but soon, maybe in the next couple days. So why I entered here, to answer your question, is because I entered here in anticipation that daily starts a bearish storyline. And if now that's the first entry. So if you were to look at this, boom, it's F11, that bad boy. If you were to look at this, that's my first entry. You see, I wasn't lying. Now this entry here, you have to understand, I operate 1 to 2 steps ahead of the game. And that's not a flex. That's me telling you that's what you should do. You should be operating 1 to 2 steps ahead of your next decision. So what's your next decision? Your next decision is enter sell here, correct? What's 1 to 2 steps ahead? 1 to 2 steps ahead is to tell you that, well, if we do a daily bearish storyline from here, the next H4 that's created from the daily bearish storyline, I'm going to enter the sell from there as well. That can be your next entry. Or maybe you're a swing trader, you only want to have 1 entry. No problem. For me, I like to have multiple entries because I understand this so well. So the more entries you take, the more risk you open yourself up to. But I understand this well, so I can open myself up to more risk. So we do actually, so I've explained the first entry. We do actually have ourselves a daily reject daily. Now, after daily reject daily, what have we created? First of all, we have created this new daily. Let me make that a line. Actually, I think it's better if we make a line so we can differentiate between daily and the H4s and the H1s. We have created, so daily reject daily, buy, sell, daily resistance. Now, very simple. We just head to H4, daily reject daily. Is there a H4 breakout? That's the first question you ask. And boom, we do indeed have ourselves a H4 breakout, right? Daily reject daily, boom, she breaks out. Now, we're not going to be looking for sells in here. We're not going to be looking for sells in here. Nothing. We're going to be looking for sells at the daily and above. So we can look for sells in here. So let me make a rectangle and show you guys. Of course, if you can refine your H4 to H1, go ahead and do that. So over here, you can refine your H4 to your H1. See again, if there's a reason for me to have an upper part of the rectangle, I'll have it. See here, buy, sell is the next resistance. Here's the refinement from H4. Boom, that's it. There she goes. And I don't think we even exceeded too much. 15 pips drawdown, no problem, right? I'm not sure whether we had a trend line. I'll be perfectly honest. I can't remember if we did. Maybe we did, but I can't remember. But yeah, so if you find a trend line, I'm not going to hindsight this, but I can't see anything right now off rip. It's been a while since I looked at the charts, to be honest with you. But yeah, so there that is. I don't know whether you could consider this one maybe. Looks like something nice. Yeah, you can. Maybe something like here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's the one. Right, so maybe you could have seen that and then place the reason as to why you would want to take why you would want to prefer the upper portion of this H4 as opposed to just going straight away with the H4. Oh, because you have a trend line nicely fitting in there, right? That's the reason. See, you're creating reasons. And yeah, pretty much that's that. Now you need to understand something else, right? A part of this also created a H1 resistance at the very top here. Now I don't expect you guys to be able to be as flexible as I am, but with time you will be. When you entered the sell here, correct? When you entered the sell here, you would have already been perfectly risk-free. So you would be eating your chips, right, at 50 pips. At 100 pips, you would have taken all profits if you're an intraday trader. A swing trader, you would have maybe taken partials or something like that, okay? That's this zone already used up. The next zone is up here. And here's the mentality. Listen, please, here's the mentality. Oh my God, okay? It's very sassy of me to say, oh my God, like that. If price passes this and disrespects it and breaks above, we don't have anything on the daily anymore. Now we have to look for the next daily, the next weekly, etc. We don't have anything to, oh, it's going to continue from here. You understand why, right? Because if price breaks and passes up, then the daily storyline clearly didn't hold, correct? You guys understand that, right? So this is what they call a last resort. This is an actual SNR term, by the way. I'm not bullshitting you. If you've seen any leaked FFF founder, you know those people, FFF founder, I have the PDFs, but I'm not going to leak it. If you found any of the leaks, you'll see they talk about last resort. This is one very basic explanation of it. If the reason they call it a last resort is because if price F's up this area, for lack of a better word, descriptor, then we don't have that storyline hold anymore. So this is that last resort. You see how we didn't even go to the H4. And the special thing about a last resort is that it doesn't even have to be fresh. It could be perfect. It could be tested a million times. But The reason that's a last resort is because if price passes that area, she's gonna pop. You know, she's gonna pop to the next weekly or something like that. So anyway, I want to give you guys an understanding as to why I sold here. I gave you guys an understanding of this, gave you guys an understanding of this. Now I'm giving you guys an understanding of this because the daily storylines is still, you know, holding, right? It's still holding. Yeah, man, that's pretty much what I wanted you to understand. And you guys may be wondering, oh, but Avi, you know, what if there's like a daily bullish storyline started from here? You have to understand something. Whether or not there's a daily bullish storyline that starts here, you have to understand where we are trading from. We're trading from a monthly resistance. That doesn't mean that all monthly resistances aren't going to be disrespected and disobeyed by dailies, but you need to understand where we're coming from. A buy from a range this high up isn't very likely to hold. Doesn't mean it won't hold, it just isn't very likely to hold. Same thing, if we were to look at this, right? If you were to look at this, a sell from in here, see this weekly, right? Weekly buys. Let's say price is selling, you're enjoying the sell. A sell some more from in here isn't going to be too wise because we have to expect that price may retrace against this. Why? Because selling from a H4, selling from a daily, we're still meeting up with a weekly support, you know? So we have to be aware of these things, right? Where we're trading right now. It doesn't mean it's going to respect, but we have to be aware of it. Okay, so we have covered right now. I've tried my best to cover it with the best of my abilities. 1, 2, 3. Next is this. Next is very simple, actually. Next is very, very easy to understand. It's just we're riding daily bearish. That's it. That's all we're doing. We're riding that daily bearish. Let me see again where that's from. Here. Oh, this is on the daily. I'm on the weekly. So I was wondering why the candlesticks look a little different. Okay. Let's see. I think here. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. Okay. So we've talked about from here. Actually, let me keep that. 1, 2 in here, but that gets break even. 2, right? So now we're in full-fledged monthly, weekly, daily bearish. As I told you, we can take a risk from taking trades just from the daily. So over here, what do we have? We break down. We have this as a daily. We have that as a daily. Another one here, right? Over here we have, okay, we can expect somewhat. We can expect some kind of feedback from there, right? Some kind of going against this kind of thing. And then boom, she breaks. Where did she break? She broke here with this candle. See this BBC? Big black candle, they call it. Don't go type BBC on Google, by the way. And like search up Urban Dictionary or something. Don't type that on Google. Boom. She breaks down. That creates what? This is our left shoulder. Correct? I mean, it's pretty simple to understand this stuff. This is just a resistance break becomes support. But then, oh, she breaks. This becomes now a left shoulder. Simple as that. Very, very simple. Okay, now we're running tight on time. Give me a second. We are 22 minutes only, actually. I spoke quite quick then. So over here we have ourselves a left shoulder. Very simple. We have 1, we have 2. We don't have anything in here, but we have these 2 areas, right? We have this one too as well. So why enter in here? Well, let's go and see. This is the daily left shoulder. We're gonna hit to the H4. Okay. So you guys need to understand something about the way I trade when it comes to open, high, low, close. This is what people call OHLC. It's very important for you to understand that every single candle has to create an open. Okay, forget about the open and close. Every single candle has to create a high and a low. Can we agree with this? Every candle you see on this chart creates a high, creates a low. Now think about this. And I'm going to mention this in future videos too. Let me rephrase this because it's very important the way I say this. Let me take a sip of my coffee real quick. Oh my god, Avi's drinking coffee, Avi's not drinking tea. Dislike. Yeah, you know what? If you dislike the video because I'm drinking coffee, you're right. I'm sorry. So, what is this? Okay. How do I put this to you so you understand it the way I understand? Okay, cool. Got it. Every single day. Now, I want you to apply this concept on the higher time frames, okay? Every single day, every single week, and every single month, all these candlesticks have to create a low and eventually have to create a high. Have to create a high and eventually have to create a low. Now, the purpose of SNR. Ooh, this is powerful. I love this one. I love this one. This is powerful. The purpose of SNR is to figure out where the candlestick is likely to make that high, resistance, and likely to make that low support. That is what goes on in my head, my friends. Every time the week closes and the next week opens, I'm going, okay, if she opens, pause. If the price opens, right? What's the nearest place price may make that high? That's where I'm going to pay attention to. Now, what's the nearest place that this weekly is going to make the low? And of course, you add the storyline. So that's the where, right? That's the where. Then you add storyline understanding to give you the why. Why should it stop here in the first place? Because if we have a monthly bearish, right? Your where should be weekly, not a daily, because you're like, that daily is probably not going to hold for anything more than 50, 100, maybe 200 pips if I'm lucky. Again, that's a rule, but it doesn't mean that it's always followed, right? So yes, that's it. Every day, every week, blah, blah, blah. Price has to create a high and a low. Now, where price creates these high and low? The answer is in your SNR. Why price should create and consider this SNR significant? The answer for that is in your storyline. I hope if there's anything you took away from this video, please take that away and understand it. Because I can give you a million breakdowns, but the moment you step into my mind, you understand it. You understand 99% of what I do, bro. No joke, 99% of what I do. You will be able to exactly replicate my trades. Exactly. So, yes, do with that as you may. Now, this is a daily. In this daily, we also have a H4. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Avi, but this H4 is sort of... Yeah. Oh, Avi, but this H4 is sort of below and it's already tested. Okay, if that's the case, no problem. No problem, right? We have a H4 that's below, which is still perfectly valid because price can go and touch this H4, draw down to the daily, and then still reject off the H4. You get what I'm trying to say, right? But if you want something cleaner, you can go to the H1 and see if there's anything there. As I said, you have to be flexible, my friends. Flexibility is something that's just so important. Okay? Now you can see we have ourselves the H1. So I know what you're thinking, but Avi, you told us don't take anything from below. Yes, you're right. But when they're so close to the higher time frame, price can come, touch this, right? Head over to the higher time frame area because there's no refinement. You have to be flexible with it, right? Head to the higher time frame, and then like it could sell off after actually going into that refinement because there's no other refinement. The next refinement is way higher, and these refinements all have what? Daily reasons behind them. See, like it's higher up here, etc. So this daily, and again, another thing. Why am I entering here? Sell. Why? In anticipation that it does another daily reject daily H4 breakout. Because if it does another daily reject daily H4 breakout, guess what? I can trust this high to hold from this level. Do you see? Same thing here. Why am I taking a sell from here? In anticipation that it starts a daily bearish storyline. Because if price starts a daily bearish storyline from this resistance, guess what? I can expect that this zone, at this level, and this high is going to hold, aka create a swing point. So, as I said, you're listening to this video for the first time going, oh man, it's just so much to take in. My friend, you have to understand, I've been doing this for damn near, I think, basically 2 years. That's every day. And you have to understand, when I first started, bro, I was doing it multiple times during the day. I was backtesting hours, right? And you're over here backtesting once a day, once a week. Come on. I've been doing it so long. So in 2 years, I've come to this level, backtesting every day or front testing, playing with demo, right? Playing with small accounts, right? Deposit 20 USD. Okay, we have a signature setup. Daily reject daily, new H4. Enter, full margin 20 USD, right? Oh, it fails. Okay, did it fail because of probability or did it fail because refinements? Did it fail because of, oh man, broker? Did it fail because, like nowadays, no more broker. A lot of people ask me what broker you use. I use IC Markets, I use Hot Forex, and basically those are the two ones I really trust. Hot Forex, IC Markets, and yeah, that's it. That's it. Honestly, that's it. If you just have IC Markets, Hot Forex, bro, just cross-check between those two brokers, you're good to go, man. You're good to go. Because with SNR, it's far more precise. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah, that was the reason. So that was the reason for this entry, right? Off of the daily. Remember, I know you can enter off of H4s, but it's best to go with a daily, right? Even though we're in daily bearish storyline, I know H4, but I told you can always have that. If you have that MTF with a higher time frame, good for you, my friends. So yeah, and then you could figure out like if there's a trend line. I don't even know whether there was a trend line over here. I think I must have taken the risk, to be quite honest with you. I don't think this is a trend line. Yeah, see, it didn't even touch this one. But let's see. If you find a trend line reason, yeah, see, there's no trend line. You better stop like trying. But yeah, pretty much that's it. That was the reason. That if you ask me honestly, why was the reason I entered there? That's the reason. Because we had a daily left shoulder. The daily left shoulder was multi-time frame with the H4 and the H1. And this is not like a H4, right? This is not a H4 that was all the way down here or something, right? If it's all the way down here, I mean, that's too much. That's too much of space, right? So have a H4 that's like 30, 35 pips below. That's okay, no problem. Because your SL is 25 to 35 pips. Okay, correct? My SL nowadays is around 15, 20, 30 pips. 32 pips max. But when you're starting off, bro, 35 pips, that should be your max SL, I think. Okay, so we covered that, which is pretty much this guy here. Next was over here. This is a very easy trade. I mean, you could even just look at this and just go like, oh, okay, we understand this, right? We have ourselves this daily. We have another daily up in here. Now, you need to understand why I would prefer. You need to understand why I would prefer this daily at the top. It's because this daily at the top here. Wait, why am I showing you guys this on a freaking screenshot? Bro, I'm high, man. Give me a second, bro. Okay. Well, I'm not actually high. Weed is illegal in Malaysia. I could get arrested and stoned to death, maybe. But anyway, so over here we have ourselves this daily. The reason why I would prefer this daily that's above is because we have this daily together with another one here. We have two zones like close by to each other. So that's why I would prefer it when we have two zones, like a cluster of zones together. That's always great. Nothing else, to be honest. There's no other reason. So yeah, anyway, you would mark this guy, you would mark this guy, right? Again, if you have multiple zones, only pick two. Only pick two if you have multiple zones. So maybe both of these. But anyway, the reason why I entered here, let's go to that. So daily to the H4, right? You guys want to know about entry. Okay, no problem. Let's go entries. So again, ignore these guys. This is too far away. See, 40 pips. You're gonna get stopped out. Right? So now we have our daily. We want to figure out, okay, what is in here? Okay, so here we go. Here comes the discretion. Here comes the subjectivity, right? We have ourselves a support break become resistance. We have ourselves another support break become resistance. See, sell buy support break. We have ourselves a left shoulder open close with a engulfing. We have this here. You see, so pick two, right? In this case, you're wondering, oh, if you said pick two, why did you pick this one? I have no idea, but I went ahead and I chose this regardless. These are things that maybe that was a trend line. That was a trend line reasoning, right? Whatever the case may be, these are things that you understand. If you want to add kill zones from ICT, that's another reason you can add too. Why not? Hey, why not, right? You know, these are all confluences, bro. These are all reasons to make your trading even better, even more low risk. Why not do it? You know, if you ask me why you pick this zone over another, what you could also do is, no, that's a bit too advanced. I don't want to get too advanced with you guys. I'll teach you guys advanced tips and tricks for lower time frames in the future, but not right now. If you want to know the reason I entered this trade, it's very simple, right? You can split your risk, whatever you want to do, but we know there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zones, right? I just went with the upper area. I had a rule when I first started, right? When I first started, I had a rule which stated that I never took trades, or I would seldomly take trades from SBR RBS. I would mostly focus my trading around left shoulder and apex. And you have to understand, when I first started trading SNR, right, I never even knew you could play from open closes. No joke, I never knew you could play from open closes. I always thought, oh, the only thing is SBR RBS, left shoulder, apex. And then I cut out SBR RBS because of things like this. We have just too many, right? So then I would have like, okay, higher time frame, I would be able to play from SBR RBS, left shoulder, apex. Okay, but on lower time frame, only I will play from left shoulder, apex. As time progresses, you will start to create your own rules, bro. And then as some more time goes on, you will be able to take multiple trades and understand why. And you'll be very confident in them, and your win rate will be in the high 70s, which is really good, by the way. Like mine right now is building back up to 80. It dropped because I wasn't focusing on trading. I took a bunch of losses. It dropped. I wasn't focused. It dropped to like 60, bro, 55. Like this, and this I'm talking about was like early January, maybe late December, right? 55, 60% win rate. Now it's what, 76, 78%? That was the last calculation I had. Anyway, let's go into H4. Excuse me, that was H4, so H1. So you have to understand daily H4, H1, and then you can already see why this zone is just so beautiful, you know, right? This zone is just so beautiful. You have a bunch of zones, bro. You have one at the top here. This would be what? H1 MTF with the H4, you know, the you would rather not take a sell from here because there's a bunch of other ones above, and this is just sort of in between. This open close is not together with a engulfing, so that's why you would prefer the top one. You want to take something like this because we have the daily, we have the H4, we have the H1 left shoulder plus H1 open close, right? Okay, this would be a great area for you to look at, you know, without obviously ignoring the fact that daily started off from right here, you know, without ignoring that fact. Oh, sorry, this is not the daily, this is the H4, right? This is the H4 that we talked about. So you could come up with a bunch of reasons, bro, but I think the most powerful way to look at things like this is, what are you willing to risk? See, what trend line is there? No trend line here. Okay, cool. Ignore it, you know, ignore it. Can we create something over here? If there's a reason, you know, create a reason for me to take a trade from here, right? If there is, there is. In this case, there was. Okay, we have ourselves a trend line. You want to create these habits where it's like, okay, we have a bunch of zones. What would Avi do? Avi would only probably pick 2 of these zones. Okay, now we're on lower time frame. What's the pattern I've seen with SBR RBS from my trading? Okay, I lose most of them. Most of the time, price hits them, you know, draw down like 50 pips and then touches off of a left shoulder or apex above and then sells off. And that's happened like 6, 7 out of the 10 times I've tried trading RBS. Then you create a rule that says completely remove RBS SBR. Now you may be missing a couple trades. Maybe out of 10 trades you miss 4, but at least last time 6 times you would have lost taking from SBR RBS. Now you're only taking left shoulder and apex. Maybe you're trading less. Maybe you're only trading twice, 3 times a week. But hey, win rate's win rate. Profit's profit. You know. So hope you understand this, man. Price basically, again, I'll say, because I talked a bunch, right? Inside this daily, you know, we're just gonna go above. So daily and above, we have ourselves the H4, right? Because right at the daily is these two. These two guys, I mean, we're gonna what? Sell. Come on, now 5 sells. Let's be honest. We want to have a good lot size. So we pick 2, pick 3 maybe, split your risk and call it a day. You know, so yeah, daily to H4 to H1. You know, see if there's a trend line. Maybe you didn't see. Maybe you genuinely didn't see a trend line from there. Okay, fine, whatever. You know, but here's the deal. If you want to make a trade, you have to take the risk. So you would have like let's say you're trading 0.50 lot size, just an example, right? You could have 0.35, 0.15, or 0.35 here on the black line, and then 0.15 up here with your stop loss. These are the adjustments that you have to make. You must make them. You must make these adjustments. You don't have a choice. Okay? So I know people are like, bro, just get down with the breakdowns of this video. I'm here saying, bro, you need to understand some stuff, man. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Otherwise, we've covered everything in this video, man. See you guys in a future one, man. I hope you guys understood exactly why we took these trades. I think this was the most clean one. This is a very clean one. This one too. This stuff comes with experience, bro. You will only get better with experience. That's all I have to say about this. When I first started, I saw the trades that my mentors took. I mean, they traded different styles because I had 7 of them, but like 2 or 3 of them traded the exact same way most of the time. And I was like, if 3 of you guys trade the exact same way, why is it that you guys have entries that some of you missed and some of you guys took? Why is it that some of you guys had entries where you really layered that MF, but some of you guys didn't even take the entry, or you guys took like one single layer with a small lot size? Why? Because different people understand their risk differently. Okay? And we can have the exact same rule book, but I'm going to be able to take certain things with far more confidence than you. And the reason, 9 out of 10 times, the reason for that is because of experience. So I'll leave you guys with that one. See you guys in the next video, man. Peace out.